Chris, what you need to do is put your hands on that child and shake it vigorously and say, beware the porgs.
Oh, fucking porgs.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate, oh yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week, the Punisher gives us a message through Morse code.
Beep, beep, beep.
I was going to do that, but thank you. We get our second Force Friday from Star Wars.
Yeah, I didn't think these things happen more than once a year, but I guess I'm wrong.
I think it's twice. This is the second ever. One every 2 years.
All right.
But anyway, Shazam is around the corner and more.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris, you've been having a very, very busy weekend. I am actually shocked that you even wanted to record since you were busy moving into a brand new house. Congratulations, homeowner.
Thank you. I am sitting in the new Superhero Slate office recording. It's 9 p.m. here. It is dark outside, and my walls are a dark gray. So it feels very, very cozy in here, to be honest.
You were just in a cell over there. I don't hear any sort of weird echoey thing over there, but I'm sure if any of our listeners hear it, he will be getting those pop vinyls in that room lining the wall soon that will make good for no reverb. So
exactly, they add that. I guess a pop filter is that what they turn into?
Oh, pop filter.
I know it was there, but you set me up. I had to do it. So we have spent literally every waking moment since Thursday at 9 a.m. moving into this house. And let me tell you, if I could give you any suggestion on moving into a house, Mike, fuck you, Hall. That's what I said. Right here, right up front. Because we scheduled it 2 plus weeks ago, and I got a text the day before saying, all right, your truck will be ready at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And I'm like, whoa. All my people are going to be there at 11. So I called this guy, and apparently it's a Valero gas station posing as a U-Haul front. And they were like, yeah, we'll get the truck today. You can have it at 10 in the morning. Great. I show up at 10. Nobody has any idea what's going on.
Oh, my God.
Or where this thing is. So before I had like a mental breakdown on this day, the day that I move, my brother-in-law, Dylan, I know he's not listening to the show, but he came through with a truck from his work, a 20-foot trailer and his pickup truck. Nice. My brother was there. My friend Andrew was there. We all pitched in and got all this furniture on this truck and in this truck.
It takes a village to move Chris out of the village.
It did. And so we finally got over here, and then my friend John and my wife and her sister were here, and we all got it unloaded in like 10 seconds.
Whoa,
compared
nice.
to like the hour and a half it took to load it up.
Congrats.
So we're all our stuff is here. Our old apartment is clean as it can be, and I am taking any home owning tips and tricks that people have. So if you can give me any suggestions, that would be great. I'm currently trying to get the hot water hose off my laundry hookups. The old one is there, rusted to it, and I'm like, you know what? I might break this. So
I think you're going to need some duct tape and some WD-40 up in that hoch.
Yeah. Mike obviously does not own a home. You can tell right away.
I rent, man. I don't care.
Yeah. So so big thanks to everyone who helped and came out. I know they're probably not listening, but I'm glad to be moved in, and everything is in a room, and I'm looking at furniture, and I'm going to need your feedback on this, Mike, because I'm going to have a TV gaming setup in our basement.
All right.
I'm thinking about buying theater seats, like the reclining theater seats with the consoles and the cup holders for that. So I might run some by you later.
Ooh, you're gonna spoil yourself.
When you live in an apartment, you kind of just gather furniture up over the years. None of this matches. None of this fits. It's really old, probably used even before you got it.
Yes.
When you get into the house, you start to realize it.
You're just like, oh, crap.
Yeah. And lastly, one of my favorite things about this house is all the brass and fake wood paneling everywhere.
Oh, fun.
That I'm going to be slowly replacing every week until it's all done, because it's like, the cut scene from Parks and Rec where Chris Pratt's talking about wiping, and every time he wipes, there's more and more. It's like that with the brass. Every time we replace something brass, something else pops up, and there's just more and more brass. So,
all right.
I'm rambling now. I'm on very minimal hours of sleep, on low energy.
I'll help you out. I'll help you out here. Speaking of Parks and Rec, this will transition to something I did really quick this weekend. Was Adam Scott, who played I don't remember his character's name in Parks and Rec anymore. Adam Scott, yeah, but Adam Scott, hilarious guy. I watch anything and everything that he's in. Very surprisingly, he was in a movie called Krampus, which is pretty entertaining, but love Adam Scott. He was in a Netflix original movie that dropped on Friday called Little Evil, from the guy or the team that made Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I think that also got very popular on Netflix, which is probably what made them be like, hey, you want to make a movie for us originally? So it's called Little Evil. Go out there and maybe watch the trailer to get a feel for it, but it's basically like a similar type of horror comedy situation where Adam Scott marries this woman and becomes the stepdad to this kid that's literally like the spawn of Satan. So no one around him, he can't get the wife to realize that this little kid is evil. So it's just about him like trying to like navigate this marriage and like staying alive while this like kid's like trying to like kill him and bury him alive and stuff. It's really fun. Basically, it's almost like you get to watch it for free because pretty much everyone pays for Netflix. It's almost just like paying your water bill nowadays. So you're going to it with very minimal money spent. So, it's pretty good. It's not going to win any Oscars. I don't think it's going to go down in history as like the funniest or scariest movie ever made, but it's a fun, good time. I would give it a watch. I have a feeling some people are really going to dig it. And then I also watched another movie on Netflix very early in the morning because my damn adult brain woke me up at like 6 a.m. on a Saturday on a freaking holiday weekend. I don't know what the hell's going on there, man. So I watched this animated movie called Nerdland, which seems like it's going to be a lot better than it actually is because it's a fully animated feature with Patton Oswalt and Paul Rudd voicing the main characters, two guys I absolutely love. The animation looks like it could be hit or miss with some people, but it looked really cool to me. It's cool seeing 2D animated stuff, but the story is just like all over the place. It was written by the dude that wrote Fight Club and like 8mm, 7 Monkeys, I think. So it's that guy trying to write comedy. Really weird, really all over the place. It doesn't need to be called Nerdland. It makes no sense. It's about like two characters trying to become famous in Hollywood. So it's a really misleading title. Basically, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're into 2D animation, maybe watch the first 20 minutes to get a feel for the look of it. But yeah, so the hit and miss there on Netflix. Watch Little Evil, skip Nerdland.
All right, well there we go. Mike's movie recommendations for the week.
Yes.
What to watch and what not to watch.
There you
go. That's going to lead us into something else we both watched over the weekend. Actually, we're going to jump right into the news here.
Yeah.
We finally got around to watching the Inhumans in IMAX.
Yes.
And we put up our review episode right before this, definitely. So if you guys are interested, you can listen to that. The first several minutes are non-spoilers, and then we get into spoilers. So I think we should kind of jump into our impressions here, Mike. If you were to tell people what you thought about Inhumans, skip it or watch it. What do you think?
Well, I'm surprised to say it here since I ragged on it so much the last couple weeks, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I went in with very low expectations, came out somewhat pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't necessarily start that Emmy campaign and get that up and going because that's never going to happen. But pleasantly surprised. I think it outpaces Iron Fist, which is surprising, because both made by Scott Buck. You'd think he would be doing worse on a ABC budget, but somehow he pulled something out of those first two parts that are pretty, creative and interesting. So there's only going to be 8 episodes, so I think that's a pretty low investment time-wise. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give all 8 episodes a shot, and I'm even surprised I'm saying it right here. Obviously there's some weird things going on in those first 2 parts, but overall, pleasantly surprised.
Awesome. That's good. And we explained this kind of a little bit in our thing. We get to hear about our movie-going experience and such, and how much I'm a fanboy for Inhumans
yes.
in the comic books. And, I'm not going to say it's a perfect show, but I did have a much better time than what I thought simply because of everyone's initial kind of, everyone's so kind of sour on it, but it is better than some TV shows, even the CW is putting out right now. And, better than some of the Netflix shows. So I definitely think that Inhumans is not the trash everyone says it is. You can find something enjoyable in it, and while you may not want to watch it in IMAX theaters because this is a TV show, not a movie, you kind of feel that come through a little bit more in the theater than you would on a TV. I think so, and Mike said that pretty succinctly.
Yeah,
So.
I think you said this is in theaters for one more weekend, right?
It's scheduled for 2, but that is up to the theater if they want to do the second week or not. So hit or miss, you have to watch it at an IMAX and maybe see if they still have it before you go. So
yeah, you're not missing out on a whole lot. If you can get some sort of like 50% off Wednesday night or something like that, maybe go check it out. But I think you're safe waiting until the end of the month.
Yeah, that's right. And even then, you may want to wait 12 weeks and binge the whole series. That might save yourself some time.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. I'm shocked. Well, We'll see how it goes. I think we said in our review that we'll be sure to check back in. I think after episode 8, kind of let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and I appreciate you for taking the plunge, Mike, blindly. It was against your best.
I didn't want to buy those tickets, but I was like, I got to do it. I told him I would.
Yeah, well, I went and watched Turtles 2 for you, so it all evens out.
Yeah, you did.
Just a little box office update. Marvel Inhumans made $2.6 million on its weekend, the first weekend here, which compared to movies is not a lot, but if you compare it to when IMAX does TV shows, the Game of Thrones season 4 finale only got $1.5 million. So if there's no 3D markup on these, so $2.6 million on a 2D movie, quote unquote movie is pretty good, I think. So
yeah, I still think they didn't really care much about the box office. I think if it would have been good, it would have been pleasantly surprised, but I think IMAX probably footed most of that money. So
yeah, and I think even if I look at the movie box office, like this still would have cracked top 10 this week. So
yeah, sparse weekend for sure.
Very dry. So yeah, if you guys have reviews or we're looking for those, send them over to superheroslate@gmail.com and we'll go from there for sure. On the Marvel TV show front, still we got some Punisher news this week and some stuff. There's a teaser video going around. I believe it's on Twitter as our link here, and it's like a kind of an intro credit scene for the Punisher.
Yeah,
I might think it might end up being. It's got a lot of the characters. Looks like newspaper articles, stuff like that, and I don't know. What do you think, Mike? This teaser video kind of credits.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go off of here. It seems to have kind of more of this like digital espionage feel to it. I feel like all of the other kind of Netflix show intros have been a little bit more, I don't know, artistic. I guess it's just every show is going to have its own kind of feel, but it seems like the Punisher has a list and is going to check it twice, and he's going to be kind of knocking some people off that list. So maybe that's kind of the most I can take out of this.
Yeah. So I think to me the biggest thing, and I talked about this with Brian, who runs Comic Show with me, is at the end it says the release date is classified. Like they kind of tease you with it a little bit, and then like release date classified. So I don't know what to make of that, but I'm still pushing for November, and hopefully we can kind of see some of this. It's obviously, I think if this is the intro credits, it's the brightest intro credits of any of the shows.
Yeah. Now, what would be really crazy is if you said they're keeping this release classified. What if they went a Beyonce on them and just like dropped it on us on a random weekend? That would be really crazy if they did that. Maybe just to kind of boost up the marketing, since Netflix doesn't really market things. I feel like like that movie I was talking about at the beginning of the show, Little Evil. The first trailer dropped like 2 weeks ago, so. They don't really think about that stuff too much ahead of time. So maybe this is coming out pretty soon. Who knows? Yeah, I think November would be cool. And maybe kind of those digital aspects of the intro kind of lean into the character. What's the character that
Microchip.
Punisher? Microchip, yeah. So maybe that kind of leans into maybe that character having a bigger role if maybe that kind of affects the opening title sequence.
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I'm very intrigued by this. The Punisher seems to be a huge experiment from Netflix. They didn't announce it really officially. They just kind of started production, and they're like, well, we're doing this. So maybe everything about this is an experiment in marketing and production and kind of seeing how that works. So
yeah, maybe.
We'll see that. Also, one of the big things he did this week was announce all 13 episode titles through Morse code.
Oh, wow.
So they did the dots and dashes as tweets every 5 minutes, I think, one day this week. And they did them in order, and we have all 13 episode titles here in our show notes. The first one is called 3 a.m., I believe Kandahar, episode 3, is the name where he was stationed in Iraq as a military. And then lastly, one was called Home. Probably goes back to his old home where his family was killed. And then ends with Memento Mori. So there's a bunch of episode titles here. They don't give away a whole lot, but I'm definitely interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, I feel like if we're getting the episode names already, it's got to be coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, again, a bold marketing strategy. You had to do a little research to figure it out. But I definitely confirmed them all through a Morse code generator. I don't know Morse code myself. So, it definitely came out that way. So that's cool.
We don't blame you, Chris.
Yeah, that's fine. Another Netflix show is also in production right now, Luke Cage Season 2, believe it or not. We can't believe that's already in there. And we get our first look at Misty Knight with a brand new arm.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. I hope you guys watched The Defenders before this image dropped.
Yeah, they definitely spared no expense and waited hardly any time after The Defenders came out. But Misty Knight obviously loses her arm. She does in the comic books, so if you're a comic book person, not everyone is. It's no surprise. But she's got a prosthesis on her arm, and I can't tell if that's like over her arm or they're going to green screen that in there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because it's a still image here.
It looks like it's over her real arm because it covers up like white plastic and stuff, so they don't have to do that.
This doesn't really seem necessarily like robotics that has been built into her arm. It does seem like something that you slide on, and then it looks like there's some sort of wire with some sort of embedded chip in her forearm, like bicep area. So maybe that's where it connects with her brain so she can control the arm. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything that's like hardwired, drilled into her bone or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not Tony Stark level here either.
Yeah,
it's kind of a mid range, but she's definitely holding a gun in it. So, and she ain't smiling. So watch out for this lady with her gun.
It's got an interesting look. I just sincerely hope when it's on screen and moving, it doesn't just look like a sleeve that's been put over the actress's arm. Even just like little details of just like maybe making the wrist look thinner than it could possibly be, which it kind of looks like here, but maybe not. Like, I feel like there's just got to be a little bit of like CG in there somewhere to make it convincing. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job in Mad Max Fury Road where Furiosa's arm just kind of had green screen elements to it where the whole part of it was practical, but then they just digitally removed some things to make it look more sparse and lean. So I would love to see that, just because like we talk about on the show all the time, we're always kind of looking for that TV budget to kind of shine through. So hopefully they can find a convincing way to make the arm look cool, because there is a character in the Defenders, I won't spoil anything, there's a character in the Defenders that loses their hand, and they do a really poor job of making it look like that hand's actually gone and not just like hidden under a sleeve or something like that. So
a little bloody nub that's a little longer than your hand should have been. So.
Yeah, like, oh, where'd that come from?
So that's cool that they're doing Luke Cage and they're already hyping it up. I mean,
Mike Coulter's just so cool. I'm like, even if like the first half of Luke Cage was similar to the second half of Luke Cage, I think I would still kind of be excited for season 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it. So I'm glad they're doing it, giving us hyped and giving us what we wanted. Misty Knight with a robotic arm.
Robo arm.
That's right. So RoboCop. So we're gonna talk a little bit about Thor Ragnarok. I think that's our next Marvel project that we're going to be talking about actually later this year, and we got a new logo on Jack Kirby's 100th birthday, kind of Jack Kirby inspired with his dots and lines. I don't know if this is a movie logo or if they just did this for his birthday. There's really no way to tell, but as a designer, Mike, what do you think here? To me, it's a little, the colors are throwing me off and it's a little busy, but
it doesn't look like all like maybe like a fully rendered image. Maybe we're just pulling it from like an odd source, but it almost looks like a still from like a video or something. So maybe if they're going to show a different logo treatment, maybe we get it at the end of the movie, because usually they show the title of the movie once more. So maybe we get this at the very end before the credits roll. So it'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of, actually, that's a smart idea, because a lot of those lines and dots are in the Grandmaster's artwork in his palace. So I don't think they'd give us that early on. So I think you're onto something there, Mike. I think that's an in credits thing. Smart. I'm glad. This is why I keep you around on the show. You got this.
I'm worth something.
Yeah, that's right. And then we got another image here of 3 characters from Thor Ragnarok featuring the character Topaz to the left, the Grandmaster in the middle, and Valkyrie to the right there. It's from Yahoo Movies, and I thought this was cool at the time, and we didn't have any news. But, I mean, anytime I get a look at Jeff Goldblum, I'm definitely okay.
Oh, yeah. We love the bloom.
Mm-hmm. It's very much like the story of, like, where people ask him, is it pronounced Goldblum or Goldblum? And he's like, how dare do you talk to me? So I'm really looking forward to seeing him as the Grandmaster in this movie. I'm really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok. I don't know how hype on your level it is, but
I'm hype. It's
up there. Everyone's looking fun. You got a couple pair of reveals for Ant-Man and the Wasp, believe it or not. The first look is our first look again on Jack Kirby's 100th birthday at Evangeline Lilly's Wasp costume here. And it appears to be in a lab of some sort, a school classroom, talking about ants and ladies.
It looks like maybe bring your parent to work, or bring your parent to class. I don't know, Parents' Day.
But the biggest thing here is her Wasp suit, which has a very like bug-eyed feel over there on her chest plate. But that's an homage to the Wasp costume, the original Wasp costume, which was just kind of, one piece that covered her breast down like to her body. You kind of see it in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it's yellow. So and this one is kind of gray. So I thought that was a really cool homage. But other than that, does anything else stand out about this to you, Mike? I mean,
it looks a little bit more tactical than maybe the little bit of the suit that we saw at the end of the first Ant-Man movie. So obviously it's a bit of an upgrade. Maybe this is just kind of finished or a newer version or something like that. If you zoom in, you can kind of maybe see a bit of a helmet or something behind her neck. It's kind of hard to see what it is, but maybe that's some sort of retractable mask, or maybe she just sets her helmet down and it's just off screen or something. But I would expect, there's a helmet component with this costume. But yeah, it feels very stealth. It feels a little bit more serious than Paul Rudd's suit, which is usually like bright red and he's running around like a doofus. So she looks a little bit more serious about what she's doing.
Yeah, that's definitely right. So I mean, I'm okay with this. I want to see it in action, but I'm glad they gave us an official look rather than us catching it on set, like from a set photo, because those usually don't look very good at all. So it's cool to see that. And tied in with this, Ant-Man and the Wasp is currently filming the same time Avengers 4 is filming. And due to the tragic events of the Hurricane Harvey, I believe is his name, in Texas, Disney, Marvel have all done a Day of Giving promotion, and they have a video here where you get to see some of the actors, Nebula, Gamora, Ant-Man, and I believe the Wasp there, all filming their movies on set. Kevin Feige over there to the left came out of his hole a little bit. Producers, the directors, the Russo brothers, everybody seems, there's a lot of people here to do this, and you get to see Paul Rudd's new Ant-Man suit as well, standing right in the middle of this video. So
little did they know they were going to give us a reveal.
Yeah. So I think his looks a little more muscular, if I was to be honest.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more room in the chest, it looks like, up there. Yeah. It looks a little bit sleeker, like it seems more maroon and less red, like I was saying just a second ago. So, and then you can see like Evangeline Lilly next to him with a little bit more of that suit that we just saw. It does seem more like a pairing,
Yeah. His they did a toy called the Stealth Suit for Ant-Man from the first movie, but they never made it into the movie. It seemed a little more stealthy, if you will, in this one, in the darkerness and the red. I don't kind of liken it to some early Hawkeye costumes he wore in the movie. So, so we get to take a look at that. That's a tragic event, but a good reveal we got there kind of for it. And everybody seems to be having fun filming. So in a blue room where all the blue stuff happens.
All the blue stuff.
They can't even put the sets on anymore because people will leak it and ruin the movies.
Yep.
So they're doing it for Mike. In terms of insect-related characters, this is one here. Sony's developing a movie called Nightwatch. And there is a movie called Nightwatch, not related to that. But this is a Spider-Man spin-off film of the character called Nightwatch.
God, another? I don't even know who Nightwatch is.
Yeah, nobody does. Apparently, he's the character Dr. Kevin Trench, who appeared in Web of Spider-Man number 97. I believe that's a 90s character, like a 90s issue. I have the Wikipedia page pulled up because I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
the writer Ed Reichort, who worked on Now You See Me, is working on the script, and the studio wants Spike Lee to direct it.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, it almost looks like Marvel's response to maybe Spawn. I mean, the
Yes.
costume is very similar, especially when you look at the mask, or you look at the very like sweeping, very large, characteristic cape that he's got going on there. I
thought it was Spider-Man 2099 when I saw the first image, because it's got that thing, but then he looks more like Spawn than anything. His powers are like, it's a nanotech suit. So it can apparently do anything. So there you go. He has a cape that can control by thinking, like Spawn.
Sony, what are you doing? They're just grasping at anything after that Emoji movie sucked.
I don't know. Like, it starts off like his comic book starts off like the movie 12 Monkeys. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
So he like sees his own, like a future version of himself dies in front of him, and that's how he inherits the suit. So
okay.
So it's really weird. I have no idea. So, I hope that doesn't happen. I just hope that doesn't happen. Like, so we got that going on in the Marvel world. A lot of Marvel stuff there. But Star Wars is still kicking. I know we're moving quick through this, but Star Wars Rebels released a season 4 trailer today, and I know have you watched any Rebels at all?
No, I haven't. So when I watched this trailer, I was very confused.
Okay, so I saw this a lot, shared a lot online and stuff, and I've watched 1.5 seasons of Rebels. They introduced some characters that were kind of erased in the expanded universe, such as Grand Admiral Thrawn has been reintroduced to this. Darth Maul and Obi-Wan had a final battle that we talked about a couple weeks ago on Rebels. So they set up a lot of this stuff, and it's set up before Rogue One. So you get to see Saw Gerrera before he shows up in Rogue One. Krennic is name dropped, so on and so forth. So there's a lot going on here, and this is the final season of Rebels. Who knows what Star Wars show will take the place after it, but I think they're setting up to finally end it on a, their own ending here.
Yeah, there's something to do with wolves. They made it a point to show these wolves a few times. So if anybody knows what that's about,
well, that's definitely the sign for House Stark. If I remember correctly from my Game of Thrones,
spanning galaxies.
So but I honestly don't know much about it. I just know Star Wars Rebels will be ending on season 4. So if you're interested in learning more about Star Wars lore, this will be the last season, so you can binge watch when it's done, or you can binge up to this and then follow as it goes. Probably not the best idea sometimes, but it is coming to a close this season. Excuse me, but we do have a little bit to talk about here about Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Ooh, yeah.
So first and foremost here, Supreme Leader Snoke's ship has been revealed, and it is called the Supremacy. And the Supremacy is 60 kilometers in length, Mike.
Damn.
I think that's 37 miles. This is a 37-mile ship. And it is the sole mega-class Star Destroyer. It looks wider rather than longer. So
yeah, it looks like if you were to take 2 Star Destroyers and connect them at the rears. But then that becomes like a wingspan, so it's not necessarily going front to back anymore. It's just going from like front to left to right, or however you're orienting it. But it looks really big. I mean, holy crap, that's like huge.
Yeah, I was trying to do a little research here. Like one of the usually, I think the longest one is usually like 3,000 meters. Mm-hmm. So and how long is this one? 60 kilometers. So 20 times bigger than a normal Star Destroyer that we've seen in any of the shows so far. Mm-hmm. And normally those are very, very huge.
Yes.
So definitely interested in see how this plays out. I do like the longer look of it. I'm very excited to learn more about Supreme Leader Snoke in this movie, if I was to be honest. Simply we saw his messed up face, and now he's out in toys.
His weird non-hologrammed face.
Yeah, so definitely going to be paying very close attention to all the ships and stuff we've revealed over the past couple weeks. Are you familiar with the Force Friday 2? It didn't sound like you were at the top of the show.
I knew that there was one, but I thought it was once a year. But I guess they're cashing in on trying to sell more stuff.
So Force Friday is actually the first one was September before episode 7 actually. So it's been 2 years. Or has it been 2 or 3? It's 2 years since our last one. So they don't happen all the time, but they release them for these big Star Wars movies where all the Star Wars toys essentially get released and unveiled all at once.
Okay.
A lot of pop vinyls were out there, a lot of 6-inch action figures. A lot of people were getting into those.
Porgs all over the place.
Mention the porgs, the little things that are going to annoy you all over the place this Christmas. They have fluffy ones that you can squeeze and they make noises. I learned by looking at these Porg toys that I didn't know this, but the bottom half of a Porg looks like a bird. It has like webbed feet, because I had only saw that one picture a few weeks ago of just the top half. So now I know what the bottom of a Porg looks like. Yep, the little birds are modeled after penguins who exist in the islands where they filmed the movie at or something like that. But I think this is going to strike your fancy when we talk about the largest Lego set ever released. The 7,541-piece Lego Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, this, surprisingly, Chris, this Lego set had its own trailer in front of my viewing of Inhumans.
Wow.
So I got to see this thing being like built, like I'm sure it was computer generated, but like on an IMAX screen. I was like, "What am I watching? Is this really for a Millennium Falcon?" Because I have one. I mean, I have the one that was from when The Force Awakens came out. Not this big and detailed for sure.
Well, so before this, I believe the Disney Princess Castle was one of the biggest sets. And it runs about $350. You want to take a slice at how much this Millennium Falcon cost?
I mean, $500.
$800 if
Holy
I believe correctly.
Shit, that's expensive.
Yes, so it is the largest Lego piece ever, so the most detailed. And judging by this, they're using it from The Force Awakens because it's got Han Solo and Chewie together in it, along with Finn and BB-8 and Rey. So this is looks like he's taken from there. I want it, but I wouldn't know where to put it or what to do with it.
These are the exact same minifigs that came with the other version of the Millennium Falcon that I have. I assume this would be from The Force Awakens. But man, just the one I built was an undertaking. So I can't even imagine how long this would take. This would take sessions. Like this, you couldn't just build this in one sitting.
Is this the similar to? Does it look similar to the one you got?
It looks similar, just with like more detail. It's almost like if you're playing a game on your computer, you bump up the graphics, you bump up the details, the textures. So yeah, there's just like for every like square inch you have on this thing, there's probably like double the pieces.
So it's the 4K version of your 1080.
That's a way to look at it. Yeah.
So okay, that's cool. I mean, I think it looks awesome. I think it looks really interesting, and the price point's way too high for me to justify. But I mean,
yeah, you just bought a house, man.
If someone else, but even if I didn't buy a house, I still don't think $800. I got much better things I could buy than just Legos. but definitely take a look at that. That's really cool. Lastly, there's been some leaks / spoilers / descriptions of leaks in trailers.
Boy, has there been, Chris?
You actually informed me of this, and I had to go on a wild goose hunt here. But tell me what's going on with Star Wars. Is there really a trailer out there that you're talking about? So
you were very busy last week. Usually you're the one to inform me when all this stuff breaks, but obviously you're moving places, so we'll let it slide. But yeah, at some point last week, information about this next Jedi trailer had leaked. Possibly the footage leaked. People are out there talking about it, but we're not 100% sure if they're just all getting it from one source. But there are concrete details out there about the next Jedi trailer. But it's really confusing because when you're talking about it in a conversation out there on the web, you're not really sure, well, are these spoilers for the movie that people are talking about, or are these spoilers for a trailer that we're all eventually going to watch? So it's just kind of like, well, what exactly are we looking at here? I think I had possibly seen screenshots, but my brain is just so wired to just run from spoilers. I believe I saw some sort of variation of BB-8. I think there's some sort of evil BB-8 out there, or some sort of alternate version of BB-8.
There's the Empire's version. BB-9E is what he's called.
Yeah, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if you are looking at this screenshot we have of Snoke's ship, at the very top there seems to be like silhouettes of that quote-unquote evil version of BB-8. He's got a different shaped head. It's more angular, and you can kind of see that up there. So we're getting another version of BB-8. I don't assume it's going to be a big role. Seeing evil droids in the Star Wars movies is not new. So I would imagine it would be just a simple scene of maybe BB-8 rolling by this thing. Maybe they fight for a couple seconds and then it's off and gone. I can't imagine there's too much to take away from it. But yeah, so there's stuff out there. This trailer had leaked. I don't know how it happened, how somebody saw it, but we had talked about just a week or so ago, we expect this Jedi trailer to be dropping soon. I mean, come on. The movie comes out in December, and we only have that one trailer. Mm-hmm. I mean, people out there are writing blog posts saying, like, we already know everything we need to know. We don't need to see another trailer. Yep. Even Mark Hamill is telling people to, like, hey, look at these Empire magazines where I'm on the front of them. Buy them, but don't read the magazine until you see the movie in December. He literally said that. He said, don't open up this freaking magazine until you go see the movie. So I don't know if there's really any big spoilers there or what's going on, but I don't think I'm going to be the first person to jump on this trailer when it comes out. I think maybe I'll wait, see if people tell me if it's safe or not. But
I'll filter for you. I'll watch it for you.
There's a whole lot swirling around this Jedi trailer that leaked. But I would assume we got to be getting it soon, man. I don't know if it's going to come on the back end of some sort of big sporting event like they do sometimes. Maybe it's going to become the Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know, but I think this is going to drop soon. Maybe when the pre-sale tickets drop. I think maybe that would be a good time to do it. Like, hey, new Star Wars trailer, go buy your tickets now. Maybe that's gonna be when it happens.
Yeah, judging just doing a quick Google search, the Force Awakens trailer 3 was October 18th of 2015. So we may be looking at another month, but I guarantee you if it goes live in October, tickets are going to be on sale.
Oh, yeah, and I'm hoping we don't go through what we went through last time with getting those tickets. Hopefully it's a lot simpler.
Yeah, really, really hoping so. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Star Wars. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing in the dark. There's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, just when you said, hey, there's stuff out there leaking, there's a trailer leak, I went on this endless rabbit hole search down all this stuff from Star Wars, and I didn't find the trailer per se, but I did find a lot of people speculating stuff, saying things, digging into details on these toys that just came out, and like the kids' books, like plot points, and the Topps trading cards descriptions, and it's definitely Star Wars fans are very thorough. If I was to give them anything. But we're in unknown territory now, so anything could really happen between now and December when it comes out. So definitely got that going for us. Another movie that we probably won't know anything about until it releases in May is the Han Solo movie, which
Solo. That's
right. Ron Howard reveals Paul Bettany has joined the film in a mysterious role. So going from being in very, very B C-list movies, Paul Bettany has now joined the Avengers. And Han Solo, so it looks like everyone's getting some of that Disney money all over the place. So.
Maybe he can get himself away from being artificial intelligence. Maybe he won't just be the sound of a console of a computer. Maybe we'll actually see him. Like maybe he'll be a bad guy dressed up.
Maybe he will be in Episode 9.
Ooh.
Well, no, not really, because Han Solo, isn't it? Yeah, Han Solo's standalone. He ain't coming back. That's it. That's the one. So. That's all right, but yeah, that's fine. I don't care if Ron Howard's in charge of it. I don't care if Phil or Chris Miller. I still don't care about Han Solo as much as most people do. So we'll see how that goes. In the DC world, Titans has made some more casting news. Brenton Thwaites from the newest Pirates movie. He's essentially Orlando Bloom's lookalike. I think it's his son. Has been cast as Dick Grayson / Robin / Nightwing / whatever he's going to go by.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a little bit revealing because we've been kind of wondering, how teen is possibly this Titan show going to be, because it's not called Teen Titans. We've seen some of the other casting revealed. It seems like maybe we're going to be in this teen range, but maybe they're not going to hammer home the whole like teenage aspect of it. Maybe just younger type of heroes living under the shadow of bigger heroes possibly, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be as young as the Teen Titans very popular cartoon show. But he's a handsome looking kid, and that's usually what they do when it comes to TV shows, get him as pretty as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I only knew him from the Pirates movie, and when you don't have him in his Pirates of the Caribbean outfit, I'm like, he could totally be a Nightwing. So I could totally see him filling that Nightwing role. Speaking of how old they are, we have a character here. 3 characters have been added to the show called Hawk, Dove, and Detective Amy Rohrbach. Most people think Beast Boy would be the next one to be added. I think he's the last one who could be added at this point, because Cyborg is in the movies. So, and we have Raven and Starfire already cast.
Yeah, Hawk and Dove have a kind of a little bit of a storyline in Justice League Unlimited. So those characters are kind of interesting to see how maybe they might work in this Titan show. But they have like very bright costumes, very kind of a visual kind of look. So it makes me wonder if they're going to fit into this seemingly darker show. I don't know. Beast Boy, I think we need to see Beast Boy.
Yep. But lastly, I think this ties into it. Detective Amy Warbach is a detective alongside Dick Grayson, who knows more than she lets on. So I think they're gonna have jobs. So they're probably, I'm guessing, early 20s, like fresh on the force, like right out of training cadet school or whatever. They're doing it. So because her casting age is 25 to 35, so I think they're gonna shoot for mid 20s. I think on the age group. So. That's why they're not Teen Titans anymore. They're middle-aged Titans. Or
just the Titans.
Just Titans.
Millennial Titans.
Millennial Titans. Yep. They're not. They're killing the crime-fighting industry. That's what they're doing.
They're killing it.
And this is in here for Mike, because Mike likes to predict things. Shazam, the movie, has officially started pre-production per David F. Sandberg, and we have a synopsis here.
All right.
It's based on the DC comic character Shazam, where Billy Batson becomes Captain Marvel, not to be confused with Marvel's Captain Marvel, the world's mightiest mortal, when he says the magic word Shazam. The name is an acronym for 6 gods and heroes of the ancient world, as well as their attributes: the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury, therefore spelling Shazam. However, John Cena and Joshua Sasse, I don't know, rumored for the lead roles here. So, Mike, Joshua Sasse was in Gallivant, if you watch the show. John Cena needs no introduction.
Oh, man, can't believe I was just talking about this the other week.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, do you think they're listening to our show and like, you know what? No one's going to take these guys seriously. So, let's do what they say.
I hope so. But honestly, I feel like it's almost a process of elimination. So, I feel like if you dial Shazam all the way back to the very beginning, and they're just like, okay, well, who do we cast as Shazam? Well, how about The Rock? Actually, no, I think he wants to be the bad guy, Black Adam. It's like, well, crap, we're out of big, bulky dudes that can play Shazam. Who's next? John Cena.
Henry Cavill. No, he's Superman. Damn it.
Yeah, so that might be really cool, man. Like I said, I want a reason to really jump into John Cena. Oh God, that sounded worse than I wanted it to be.
If he can up his acting game a little bit from not just being comedy shtick, I'll buy into it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, we were just watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's HBO show earlier today, Ballers.
Yeah.
When he's not surrounded by CG action adventure, he really skirts pretty far on his charisma and not really his acting ability. So I don't think he's the best actor out there in the world, but he's just got all that damn charisma up in him. Just lets him slide.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it. I have no idea who I put in there. So you know what? Let's knock on wood and hope for the best. You know, knock on wood.
Cena.
Because we have other DC movies that are kind of on the fence here. So we're going to talk about the Joker origin movie. We discussed, I think, last week or the week before.
Yeah, multiple movies, or who knows what's going on.
Again, thank you, Instagram people, for commenting on our post, but we are just commenting on speculations and reports. We are not hardcore facts over here. We can be wrong, like we said last week. So, again, if the Joker origin movie is real, and they do announce it, the studio's eyeing Leonardo DiCaprio as the Joker.
Oh, God. What is going on here?
Yeah, do you want to see him do the Joker?
I mean, I was under the impression that, they were saying this Joker origin movie may or may not be tied into the DCEU and maybe its own standalone type of thing, but I was just like, well, if you're doing an origin movie, I would think maybe to play ball with the DCEU, make the character younger than Jared Leto, so at least you could cast somebody different and still say it's that kind of same Joker. But if you go with someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, you're just making a brand new type of Joker. You're just going like just an alternate universe Joker, it seems like. The Flash is getting involved here somehow, taking us to like Earth 2 Joker or something. But I've heard people basically just saying that, like, they're just kind of hoping Martin Scorsese being in on this project kind of gives old Jared the boot and says, hey, Leonardo DiCaprio, we worked on everything together. Let's get you in here. But nothing in Leonardo DiCaprio's past points him towards any sort of franchise going forward. He's like a serious actor. He's like trying to like freaking like save the world now or something. Well, like he's doing like climate change stuff. So I think if he's going to do movies, he's just going to do more of the artsy stuff like he's been doing.
So I've got something to kind of go on that. So this Joker origin is a gritty crime boss in a Scorsese-esque Gotham underworld. So I'm thinking Wolf of Wall Street, but with clown paint on. But Jared Leto has also expressed displeasure with the plans to use multiple Jokers. So I think it will still be a standalone Joker movie, no franchising, because Scorsese doesn't franchise either. Like he doesn't do sequels. So I'm thinking if they do it, and this is how they do it, it's going to be not tied to any DCEU property.
That's gonna be so. It's gonna be so weird, man. I just can't envision it. I mean, I just think it's because when I think of Leonardo DiCaprio, I just kind of think of him like really just diving in the different types of like characters, and I just don't see him as the Joker. I'm not saying he couldn't be, but this is just weird and bizarre. Like Scorsese's like trying to turn Joker into something that's gonna be nominated for like an Oscar. I don't know what's going on there. But
if we know anything, Scorsese and DiCaprio only get Oscars out of pity and not out of winning. No, it's fine. It's whatever. Don't need it. Don't need origin movies. Don't need Han Solo origin movie. Don't need Joker origin movie.
I guess I'd be kind of annoyed if I was Jared Leto too. I mean, he was pissed that he ended up being really shitty in Suicide Squad, maybe to no fault of his own, because I know he's a good actor. And then they wrote a big enough check to bring him back to the franchise, and now they're thinking about putting in another Joker. It's just like, hey, man, give me a chance in a good movie first. But I don't know. I think maybe Leto never should have been Joker to begin with, and maybe he could have been on a different path in his career. But I guess hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, or whatever it may be. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't fracture your universe, I guess. I mean, if you want to not be Marvel, that's fine. Don't do it. But don't try to give us a connected universe and a not connected universe. Like, pick one and stick with it. But whatever. I'm of the impression the less we know about the Joker, the scarier he is. Mm-hmm. So we'll go with that. Speaking of Jared Leto Joker movie, Suicide Squad 2 may not start filming until fall 2018. What do you think about this? Chances are it's not going to be... Is that too late? It's fall 2018. Did they miss the boat for Suicide Squad 2 not coming out until winter 2019?
I hope this is just a clue saying that we're never going to see the sequel. If nothing's going to be filmed until like a year from now, basically, maybe there's a chance this will just drop off the slate entirely. The DC has not been set in stone like Marvel has been in the past. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but that just means this could easily still change. So maybe we won't be seeing Suicide Squad 2 at all if they're waiting this long.
Yeah, I mean, so it's all coming down to Will Smith doing bigger, better, quote-unquote, better projects. He's filming Aladdin. He is the genie. And he's doing the movie Gemini Man. And I think the Gemini Man's based on something. We've talked about it before. I'm gonna look it up here. But if he's filming those two first and foremost, he's not going to make it in time for that. So they'll have to... If they want Will Smith, they got to push it to fall 2018, man.
I mean, they're already talking about putting Harley Quinn and Joker in their own movie. So if somehow they aren't in this Suicide Squad sequel, all they have to rest their hat on to hang their scarf up with is Will Smith. So if he's not involved, they just got to wait. He's still a big, gigantic movie star. So obviously they're saying the age of the movie star is dying or whatever. Who knows? But Will Smith is going to be the only thing that makes this movie anything remotely good. So
yeah, and that's coming out October of 2019. So knowing the post-production schedule for DC films, it might even be 2020 before we get Suicide Squad 2, and by then
might have to compete with the Olympics here, people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want it. Oh well. Justice League is another movie coming out this year, our last DC movie of the year, if you will. And Joss Whedon has been confirmed with getting a writing credit for the film now. So he's obviously made enough changes. I think it's 10% or 10 pages of writing to get a writing credit. So he will be doing that now. So
yeah, I mean, not surprised. The word on the street is he's basically polishing up the parts that aren't the action scenes, and basically, they say that's the whole movie. So we'll just have to see how it turns out. I don't know. I'm just so curious. I've never been so curious about one movie in a really long time. So I'm worried about the movie's future and its quality, but I'm definitely curious.
Yeah, so the official press release is story by Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder, screenplay by Chris Terrio and Joss Whedon. So I don't know if Snyder was even on writing the film, but they have taken him off if he was. So I think there have been probably some big changes.
Yeah,
and everyone's trying to no, they're not changing a whole lot. Well, enough to change a whole writer. Yeah, that's some big changes, people. That's nothing small.
Let's just hope it feels cohesive.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. I'm looking forward to it still. I think November/December are going to be huge months for us and the show. So I'm really looking forward to that. So cross our fingers for a good Justice League. Speaking of Jason Momoa, who's in Justice League, knows what I'm doing here. He was in the movie The Crow Reborn, the reboot of the Crow movie, of course. Sony Pictures has picked up the project, sadly, and hopes to get it to screen. So Jason Momoa was attached to act, and they had a director, I forget who it was, but no word if that carries over under this new studio. But, if The Crow's not working, give up on it, man. Do something new. So
yeah, Jason Momoa, he's a cool dude. He seems to really bring a lot of energy to whatever he's in. So maybe that could be a good pairing there. But yeah, we don't trust Sony over here at Superhero Slate. So we're gonna have to. They don't have a lot of good faith on us.
This is a 50-50. Like damned if we do, damned if we don't. We like Jason Momoa, but we hate Sony Pictures. So come on now, give us something good here. Give us something to do. But I'm not big into the cult following of The Crow. I don't care for it as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, I know it's got a big fan base out there, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see if that comic ever gets done again. We'll see. Hellboy has made some casting. Actress Penelope Mitchell from the show Hemlock Grove is cast as Ganeda the Witch. She's an elder witch who decided Nima, the Blood Queen, whoever that is, wrath has gone on too long and needs to stop her. So it sounds like a good person, I guess, a someone helping along the way kind of character. So that's fine. I don't know Penelope Mitchell. But in bigger news, actor Ed Skrein has stepped down from Hellboy as Major Ben Daimio over the whitewashing concerns of the role. The character is very much Asian based, Asian descent in the comic books and even his look. And when he cast it, Ed Skrein is in Deadpool actually as Ajax. What do you call him? Not Ajax. That's his name. What's his real name? I forgot.
I have no idea, man.
He put the tape over Deadpool, over the Ajax bottle in Deadpool. Francis. There we go.
Yeah, okay, Francis.
But so Ed Skrein, he stepped down himself. He wasn't fired. He said, due to the controversy of this, he hopes that people can take this as a lesson. The studios can hire people who ethnically represent the characters properly to be cast and hired in this. So he stepped down from the movie.
Good on him.
Due to the concerns, and I don't think he's going to have any issues finding roles in Hollywood and going forward. And I think that's a good news. That's good news for him and Hollywood in general, I guess.
Yeah, good on him. I think the biggest casting announcement that we're all obviously waiting for is who's going to play Hellboy. Ron Perlman did an amazing job.
We have Hellboy.
Who's our Hellboy?
It's Hopper from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. This news goes by quick, and now it's all flooding back to me because now I remember when he was announced. I was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool. It sounds like a good fit." Well, there we go, Chris. The news is too fast, and even being on a podcast, I can't even remember it.
Oh man, too fast, too furious. Hellboy news, but yeah, Hellboy's kind of one of those things. It kind of came out of nowhere. We were like, Hellboy 3, reboot it. And now it's like Hellboy the Blood Queen, and now it's like, we don't need the Blood Queen. It's just Hellboy now. And so yeah, so I'm definitely not. You're not alone, but casting's moving right along. I assume our first look at the character as Hellboy might be around the corner, and then start production. So
it'll probably be some sort of cryptic Instagram photo of the Hellboy's glove or something like that.
Yeah, that the sawed off horns or whatever. So yeah, something like that. It's all right. This might have been better earlier. We get a Blade Runner 2049 news. I'm really looking forward to this movie. Now, mind you, I'm not a huge Blade Runner aficionado. I like the movie more than I thought I would, but I don't know a lot about it. But they are doing the prequel stuff that Alien Covenant did. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. But this one is called 2036 Nexus Dawn. Now, this introduces Neander Wallace, the character played by Jared Leto, and how these replicants, the robots at the time, have been outlawed, and they shouldn't be around. And in 2036, he introduces a new one called the Nexus 9, and like how he wants to bring them back into production and into society and in the ban on replicants. So I think we're going to be getting several of these to kind of bridge the gap between Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2, essentially. So I expect maybe 2 more of these, but it's okay. It's beautiful. It's a very beautiful thing. And Jared Leto, he has some sort of, the way he talks is very interesting. So he definitely has sold me more on this character than he did any moments as the Joker. So I'll give him that. But if you guys want to watch the video, it's in our show notes, so you can go down and click on that and check it out.
All right.
Mike, we still need to watch the original Blade Runner. So we got, because it's October, so we might set down some time to do this.
And what was that cut we were supposed to watch? The final cut or the? Oh no, I don't even remember.
Hold on. I have it in my text messages here. Let's see if you can keep guessing how many cuts of this there are while I look this up. And keep scrolling back through this. Maybe it was. Ooh. I feel bad because we don't talk a lot, but I definitely adhere to what Patrick says because I trust what he says, and he's probably listening to us right now. I'm like, oh, you idiots, you need to do this. Going back to June 12th, still looking for it here. Is there like a director's cut? Maybe the final director's cut.
Yeah, I feel like there's a theatrical cut. There's like a final cut. I think there's a director's cut. I think the final cut is supposed to be like the definitive version that Ridley Scott made. So I guess final cut is what you're doing, but some people, I guess, prefer the director's cut. I don't know. There's a whole lot going on here. There's too much stress going into rewatching an old movie, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, when there's more cuts of these in the Star Wars edits from George Lucas, you kind of get a little concerned. Man, I can't find it. So Patrick, I've got to scroll back too far, and I'm not gonna hang it up on here, but send me a message again. Tell us which one we should watch on that, and we'll definitely get to it. We need to pick a date, Mike, and just do it. Like, I know we can't do it together, but we gotta just do it. So, all right, putting it down, giving up on it. So, all right.
Exciting segment of the show is brought to you by Blade Runner 2049.
Brought to you by Chris looking through his text messages. Can't find what he wants. Lastly, the Bumblebee character / movie in a little legal bit of hot water here. Hasbro, the Transformers purchase, is suing DC over the name / character Bumblebee. Because they've recently, in the DC Superhero Girls merchandise, been putting out a character called Bumblebee, who is a character, Karen Beecher, who created in Teen Titans in like 1977. Nothing new, but they're like, oh, it's Bumblebee, that's ours. And they got a movie coming out next year, so they're like, we need to protect this name. Have you ever heard of something so dumb?
Yeah, it sounds like a whole lot of bullshit to me, especially since Bumblebee is such like a unanimous just kind of term for a bee. Like, oh, look, there's a bumblebee on the flower over there. Oh, that's cool. Oh, hey, good morning, class. Everybody get out their crayons and draw a bumblebee. We all know those cute little fuzzy things, and they're in all of our like storybooks and everything like that. So it's just like, really, you're fighting over the term bumblebee, and it's just like, Hasbro, come on, what hill are you standing on here? You're talking to like DC Comics. You freaking made Batman and Superman. Like, how about you take a step back and try to protect your shitty movie some other way?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. When someone says Bumblebee, I automatically think Transformers anyway. Like, I don't think this little young teenage Teen Titans character that nobody knows about is going to steal the thunder from Bumblebee movie or the character. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I just don't think. I think it's a pissing contest over who has the rights to the name, and none of it really matters at the end of the day. So, I don't care. Hell with them. Bumblebee this, Bumblebee that. Everybody's getting stung, that's for sure.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to end on that note. It's been a long one, and I got to edit these down. I got 2 shows to edit, Mike, and we're going to put them out, but we're here. We're at the end. If people want to know more about what you do and where you are and things that you're up to, where can they find you at?
Well, they can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. Chris, people want to know if you got a decent night's sleep after moving all weekend and editing this podcast for us. Where can they follow you?
You can find me on Twitter at Valdan, Valdan. I'll be putting up some pictures as I move and unbox stuff for sure. And maybe some sleep stuff. I don't know where I'm going. But you can find me there. You can read my stuff on Comic UI, listen to my other show, Filmside Chats, with my friend Patrick, or you can find me on the DNN on YouTube. And I just looked it up. There are 7 versions of Blade Runner that currently exist, but only the director's cut and the international cut are the widely seen ones. So, but anyway, yeah, we got that going for us. If this is someone's first show and they want to know more about what we do, maybe our Inhumans review episode, where can they find us at?
Yes, as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find all the avenues we host the show, and more importantly, our show notes. So if you want to check out all these awesome images that we talked about, all of these things of like Snoke's ship and all these other things, hit up superheroslate.com and check out our show notes for this episode. And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr. Subscribe and get us right in your email inbox every week. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Pick up a Superhero Slate t-shirt at superheroslate.com/store if you want to be stunting and looking really cool. And if you're a fan of the show, please consider leaving us a review wherever you listen. Subscribe to the show. We really love that. And if you want to be a super fan of the show, super easy. All you got to do is share the show with a friend and share the show with a buddy. And we will be here every week, sometimes twice a week, like Chris said. Make sure you're subscribed and you'll get our reviews in your feed too. So all one place, subscribe. And we're here, baby.
That's right. And whether I'm moving or not moving or things are changing, we're here. Let's do it. Let's get it done with. So, all right, well, I'm going to edit these up, and I will catch you guys next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
Give them the 1-2 episodes.